This may not be picture-perfect coastal town like some other places in Croatia, but it offers a lot more than just great beaches. On the one hand, it's very beautiful, but on the other, it's rough and unpolished. This place was home of the Romans, the Venetians, and served as a major naval port of Austro-Hungarian Empire. Between the world wars, it belonged to Italy, and after World War II, it became part of Yugoslavia, succeeded by Croatia. This is Pula, a unique town on the tip of Istria, surrounded by beautiful and popular coastline with amazing islands. Hi guys, my name is Rok and I spent last 9 years traveling around Europe as a tour guide, and I want to show you things to do and best beaches in Pula, Croatia. This beautiful square is here since the Roman times, hence the name Forum Square. It had many temples, and one of them still dominates the square. This is more than 2,000-year-old Roman temple of Augustus. It was reconstructed stone by stone after being destroyed in World War II. During the Second World War, Pula served as a base for German U-boats, and that resulted in frequent Allied bombing that destroyed a lot of its ancient monuments. The temple is open for visitors from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the ticket costs 10 kuna. Unfortunately, at the moment, doors are shut, maybe because I'm here in the off-season. Next to it is this beautiful 13th century city palace that also managed to survive. It was built on the remains of another Roman temple, and since its construction, it was always the administrative and legislative center of the city. Main Square is full of cafes and restaurants, and right there is also a tourist information center. Despite World War II bombing, Pula still has many Roman remains dating from 1st century BC to 3rd century AD. And one of them is this triumphal arch on the main pedestrian street built between 29 to 27 BC. Every day, for more than 2,000 years, people pass under this arch on their way to the main square. This is Double Arch Gate and was one of 10 city gates. Town walls and its gates were mostly knocked down in the 19th century due to the expansion of the old city center. You can still see sections of the remaining town wall and few of the old gates. Allied bombing not only destroyed the monuments, but also revealed some of them. In this tucked-away area at the end of a parking lot are the remains of a Roman house with beautiful floor mosaics. They were discovered after the bombardment as they were buried 2 meters below today's level. Mosaics show bad girl Dirs from Greek mythology being punished by tying her to the bull. The mosaic is difficult to find and there is very little signage, but it is absolutely beautiful and, like many other historical places around Pula, free of charge. This small Roman theater is another not polished Roman remain built in the 1st century AD. There is no admission, no paths or no signs around here, so you can walk around freely and explore. All around I see construction going on, so I expect that in the near future this will become much more touristy. In the middle of city center rises a small hill that was always an important strategic point. First hill forts were here centuries before the Romans. Romans established a military camp and town of Pula started to grow. But this massive, star-shaped fortress was built in 1630 by Venetians. It is known as the castle and it overlooks the city and the harbor in order to protect them. This fortress was built as Pula was of a great significance in maritime trade in North Adriatic. This fort was much needed as during the 14th, 15th and 16th centuries the city was attacked by Genoese, Croatian, Hungarian and Habsburg armies. Republic of Venice ruled Pula for more than 400 years until Venetian Republic was destroyed by Napoleon in 1797. Right now, the castle is under renovation until the end of 2022 and can be visited, but it still offers great cityscapes of Pula. After long Venetian and shortly French rule, Pula has become part of Austrian Empire. Austrians took control of Istria for the next 100 years until the end of the First World War. They left impressive military heritage as Pula has become the major naval port of Austro-Hungarian monarchy and was heavily fortified. Austrians built 26 magnificent forts and fortifications, and one of them is this one. Forts were built at excellent locations, mostly lookouts that even today offer a magnificent view. Due to the incredible defense system, Pula was never attacked from the sea, and the city has completely preserved fortification complex. Most forts are forgotten and abandoned, and it's a shame that they can't be visited on the inside in their original form. Some of them are finding new life, like the case of Pula Aquarium that found home in one of the fortresses. Austrians started huge construction projects that brought revival to the city. New era attracted many people, and one of them was one of the greatest writers of the 20th century, Irish James Joyce. Joyce was working in Pula as professor of English, teaching mainly Austro-Hungarian officers. His sculpture on a cafe terrace is still waiting for an espresso and admiring Roman triumphal arch. Pula became a strong imperial royal naval base, and prior to the First World War, Austrians constructed an underground tunnel system to shelter the city's population and to serve as ammunition stores. And today, it is open to the public and known as Zerostrasse. There are several entrances when tunnels are open from mid-June to mid-September. They are used for various cultural and social events and exhibitions. Unfortunately, they remain closed outside the peak season. Pula doesn't have the most impressive cathedral in the world, but it holds an amazing history. Church stands by the sea where in 5th century it replaced an ancient Roman temple. A series of expansion of the original church followed, but fragments of the original 5th century floor mosaics are still visible. In 1707, the freestanding bell tower was added, and it was built using the stones from the Roman amphitheater. With the arrival of Austrians, a grave with stone sarcophagus was discovered in the church. It contained a silver box with golden relics of Thomas the Apostle, patron saint of Pula. The find can be seen in the Art Museum in Vienna. The cathedral was heavily damaged during the World War II bombings and was repaired soon after the war. The entrance is free and it's worth a visit. South of the city center are peninsulas with beaches, campgrounds, big hotel resorts, big marina and old Austrian forts. Here is also the most popular promenade in Pula. This 4 kilometers or 2.5 mile long promenade runs between pine woods and the rocky seaside with pebble beaches. During the day, it hosts senior walkers, young families and joggers, and at night, it turns into a meeting place of city's youth. In the evening, this promenade becomes one of the most romantic places in Pula, and I would very much recommend an evening walk. Here you can enjoy the magnificent sunset. Unfortunately, Lungomare is often overlooked by first-time visitors as it's about 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles from the city center. Along the whole length of the Broadwalk, there are free parking spaces, and the promenade is also accessible by public transport. Thanks to the jagged coastline on the southern tip of peninsula, Pula has countless, more or less hidden bays and different rocky, sandy and pebble beaches. Now we'll look at some of the best ones. Brijuni are a group of 14 small islands about 2 kilometers off the coast of Istria. For centuries, they were mainly used for their quarries, but after the islands became part of Austrian Empire, they were turned into prestigious summer vacation resort of Austrian Habsburg royal family. You can still stay in the authentic hotels that reflect the holiday spirit of the early 1900s. After the Second World War, Brijuni became a summer residence of Yugoslavian communist leader Josip Broz Tito. Tito built villas to host heads of states, movie stars and royalty. You can see his legacy in the museum, and part of his legacy is also a safari park which holds animals given to him as presents. Here is also a dino park, as more than 200 dinosaur footprints have been discovered. Roman remains are scattered all over the islands. Today, Brijuni are a conference center, a golf course and a popular national park. Most people visit Brijuni as a half-day or a full-day trip. To get to Brijuni National Park, you need to travel to Fažana, a small town just north of Pula. From there, boats take you to the island. The best way to see Brijuni is to get an excursion park ticket that includes a return boat trip, sightseeing with a guide, a tourist train ride around the island, visit to the safari park and visit to the museum, displays and gardens. You can return to Fažana on your own using any boat line. I will put the link to the boat schedule in the description below. This is the most impressive landmark of Pula, a remarkably preserved Roman amphitheater known as Arena of Pula. It was built in the 1st century AD at the same time as the magnificent Colosseum in Rome to serve as the site of gladiator fights. This is among the world's 6 largest surviving Roman arenas. It is so big that it had to be built outside of the old city walls and could accommodate more than 20,000 spectators. The underground passages, once used by the gladiators, now they host regular exhibitions and reconstructions of machines and amphoras, once used for the production, storage and transportation of olive oil and wine. Today, the arena is used as a venue for many concerts, as well as the Pula Film Festival. The arena is open to the public daily from 8 AM to 9 PM and the ticket costs 70 kuna. Pula is not a world-famous destination that you would go around the world to see, but this place should be on your list if you ever visit Istria or you seek for a great summer holiday destination. City is full of history and full of surprises. Yes, there are a few unpolished places, but I guess that's part of the charm of this shipbuilding town. If you look for crystal clear sea, great beaches and great holiday resorts, you can find them all around this area. And all this makes Pula a wonderful summer holiday destination that offers much more than just great beaches. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can share your questions, suggestions, or experience about Pula in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified about my future travel videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.